Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala.
Namaste, Jai Shankar. Welcome to Satsang. Thank you for being here. Thank you to all the Zoomers around the world for being here, and also to my dear San Diego, beloved ones. Even after the chant of Arunachala, there's so much of silence now. Are you all feeling the silence? Because it's been chanting for a while. Silence is the screen of consciousness. So if we can all come to that state of supreme silence within. So when we come to the state of supreme silence within ourselves, recognizing that that is the supreme reality, all of the noise of the world has to be renounced. The noise of the world ain't going to stop for your meditations or for your emancipation. They're not going to say, oh well, these people are spiritual people, and so we will keep quiet. It doesn't happen that way. Every obstacle will come your way. Every obstacle will come your way. Do you have the courage to rise above those obstacles? And bloom like this lotus, petal by petal by petal. Your Sahasrara. When you look at a flower, you can go into samadhi, Why? It's not only beautiful, but there's an unconditionality about it. Its offering is unconditional, doesn't have any agendas. It's not saying, I'm so beautiful, I'm so fragrant, and I've given myself, so what do you have to give to me? So our love is not unconditional. It's so conditioned, no? The love of the Jagat is so conditioned. If you have a partner, if you have a sibling, you have your husband, wife, you always say, okay, I did all this for you the whole week. What are you going to do for me today? Because you can't really help yourself or blame yourself, because that is the swabhava of the universe. That is the belief system that we have been cultured into in every part of the world. There's always an agenda. When you're born, you're given a name, form, everything. Slowly, you're so born so innocent and beautiful. And you come and you have to get layers and layers of this, of the world. So since we have had these layers for so many lifetimes, and for this lifetime, 30, 40, 50, 60 years, whatever, 80 years. So how do we drop it? How do we drop it? We already talked in many satsangs about emancipation, prerequisite for emancipation. I won't go through, I know there's a lot of new faces. Prerequisite. Humility, humility, humility. Because without us being humble, how can we go in front of God and say total Sharanagati, total surrender? I do not want anything from you. I want to know who I am. May you show me. May you show me. So humility, letting go. Letting go of what? I keep saying letting go. Letting go of what? Of all your positionalities, whom you think you are. Even if it be like stupendous. I'm so great, I've achieved so much in my life, no? I've created all of this. You didn't create nothing. It is pre-orchestration and then something flows and it just happens. But the I, now we're going to attack the positionality of the self-identification. We've got to attack it, right? Otherwise, ego will be there with you forever, jeopardizing you, hijacking you, sabotaging you in your path of renunciation. See? So do you want to be sabotaged continuously, or do you want to just step into the limitlessness? No. If you have the courage, it can happen now, here and now, today. How long are you going to hold on to your little self and your little memories and your little mind and ego and saying that's good, it's very erudite. No, the mind is very erudite, you're very intelligent. But here's the news flash, everything has to go to come front of the divine. At least in my humble experience, everything had to be dropped. Everything. No desires, no judgment of yourself. Start with yourself, don't judge yourself. You're just so beautiful. As of now, I see you all as the bright lights. Because there's no other, there's only one. If there's only the self, then is there the other, somebody sitting in front of me? You're all a part of me. And that is the radical truth. So another important thing is coming to radical truth. It's very difficult, no? Because we have hidden agendas. We are one thing outside in the world, and we are different within where we are. So I'm saying, can you be this pure lotus always? Inside your house, outside your house, inside yourself, outside yourself. Then you're in the state of limited, not limited, but limitlessness, unlimited, infinite reality. It's actually very simple, but becomes it's not so easy because we can't give up all our toys. We can't give up our toys. Even people close to enlightenment, they have one little stickler sitting there, one little thing. You need to get this. But you witness. What I'm saying is simply witness, because sometimes your vasanas are so strong that sometimes you'll say, even if I want to get rid of this, I'm not able to, right? The vasanas are so strong, no? So you be very gentle and kind to yourself and simply witness. That's why meditation. When you're meditating 3 times a day, minimum 3 hours, don't roll your eyes. It's just the minimum, guys, If you sit and meditate for like 6, 8 hours also, it seems like 5 minutes. Once you get the abhyasa, practice. So what happens when you're sitting, you come to the state of radical truth. Simply, everything simply drops. Everything that does not serve you simply drops then and then alone, because you're coming in front of God butt naked. Not with your toys, not with your agendas, not with your fancy shawls, nothing. No? You're simply delving into your heart. Heart is thy name, O Lord. Bhagavan said that. Heart is thy name, O Lord. So can you come directly dive into the heart? The right side of your chest, which is the Hridaya Kamala, which is the lotus of your heart. So if you delve to the right side of your heart, everything else simply drops. The mind has no chance, no choice, no chance, nothing. And after hours of meditation, it says, oh gosh, I'm just so tired. This is the mind talking, okay? It says, I'm just so tired. She's so relentless, or he's so relentless. He keeps on meditating, In that space, it doesn't have much power. Because the mind is when you give it power, Mind doesn't have any power. You give it power, give it a little nice throne and say, please sit here. How may I serve you? No? Even the fear that comes is the mind only. The realm of the mind is filled with greed, anger, ego. I was trying to figure out, as I was walking, it came to me. I can never remember all these negative connotations. I thought I got it all, but I don't remember now. Because every cell of your being has just dropped it. So what are the other things? Frustration, anger, demanding, all of that realm of the ego mind, and sorrow, sadness, emotions. Does that serve you? Does that serve you? Tell me one person that served you. It's not serving you, and still we don't want to drop it, no? The realm of the supreme reality is stillness, peace, unconditional love to the whole universe, kindness, compassion, serenity, compassion, all the time compassion. You're not selective about your compassion, no? You're not selective about your love. You're simply giving. So you're simply flowing because the universe is also you. If self is only one and you are everything and everything is you, then how can you be selective? You simply flow. And in that flowing, you're not thinking anything. You don't even know what you're doing as it's happening right now. You don't even know what next sentence is going to come out of this mouth. No agendas. But still there's a flow, there's a vibration, highest vibration, and everybody can feel it. Even if now I stop talking also, you'll be in peace. It's not necessary. The supreme reality, it's not necessary, no?
It sounds like you're saying the supreme reality is not necessary. I know that's not what you're saying.
No, in the state of the supreme reality, nothing is necessary. Thank you for correction. See, when the mind drops, even if you sound foolish, it's okay. You're not affected by it. You know what I mean? Sometimes you'll fall flat on your face. You'll be saying something will come out. Do you have the courage to come to that state of letting go? Somebody will correct. So what? But your vibration, your unshakable reality does not change, does not shift, even in that correction. Because there's no ego. If there's ego, so what is she stopping and correcting me, So can you come to that state? So to come to that state, there is a state of radical truth. You have to, radical truth and authenticity. Can you come to that radical truth? Because you just do self-inquiry, You keep saying, what is this bothering me? Okay, what is this coming up? Why is this coming up? Simply sit with it. Simply witness it and drop. Witness, drop, witness, drop. This has to be the abhyasa in the beginning. Later on, it will be simply a flow of your soul connecting with that divine consciousness. Because it's all a flow, no? When I come here in Arunachala's breeze is just flow. There's a big fat something there. There should be more of a flow. What is that, the speaker? How can you protect self? Okay, technology. I accept. I humbly accept. I was thinking of somebody yesterday. It came into my consciousness and he's sitting there. I don't know how. Anyway, I don't know his name or anything, but he's sitting there. You know who you are. So any questions? Who does have problems with radical truth? Yes, Oshanath?
Yeah, everything is pre-orchestrated, which I definitely fully agree with.
Right. No.
You have the ability
Yes. First of all, right. So she's talking about orchestration. So if everything is preordained, she says we don't have to do anything, there has to be. This is also preordained. What is coming out of this mouth is also preordained. You're all sitting here is also grace is brought to you. And something speaks and says, pay attention. That's all I'm saying, is to pay attention. If it's not preordained within your being, you will not receive it. If there's something, a fire just starts, starts up a little thing, spark, and it just consumes your whole being, then you're in the right place. You see, everything is preordained. Everything which, because I'm not even, know what I'm saying, going to say the next minute, and it comes out. So you come here because of grace, and that question also arises from, your ego mind, which is very good because you have to question everything. No harm in questioning, but it's a beautiful question because that's a very good question, because people say if everything is preordained, why do you need to do anything? Then Ramana says, put in a little bit of effort. No, I'm giving you everything. Put in a little bit of effort. Guru principle is there giving you everything. Your back is covered. Okay, put in a little bit of effort. That is also preordained. When I'm telling you put in a little bit of effort, that's also preordained. There's somebody sitting there. I met him last year. He came into my consciousness today. He's sitting here. So wondering what happened to him. Beautiful soul. He's sitting here. How does that all happen? It's preordination. I have no control over anything. But my only prayer is, if you can receive this, whatever is being said by the self and self alone, and you run with it, that's also preordination. You may run with it, or you may leave today and never come back. That's okay too. I accept. So that is humility. Accepting whatever people come, sit, you give yourself 1000%. If they want to leave, then so be it. It's totally okay. So anybody still, yes? Yes. So she understood as everything is sitting on the other side of the door, and all that you have to do is open it. It's kind of opening the door of your soul, no? Because it's not even the other side of the door. There's no other side. No? There's no other side, because you are it. You are that constant every moment. And anything different from me. You're not any different from me. It's the same. But it's just the recognizing of the immensity of yourself. That's all. For that, you don't have to open any doors. But they have all this verbiage, opening the doors of your soul and all that. So that's where the doors come. The secret, co-creating with God. There's only one, so what is it? Don't start with that question again. No. David. Yes, go ahead. New question. Okay, go ahead, please.
You talk about able to recognize.
So he said, how do you be more open? You're saying if you come with openness, you receive more. And if you, like I say, sometimes say, self-talks and says, if you open a small window, you'll get just a sprinkle. If you open large, you get drowned by the flood of consciousness. So his question is, how do we cultivate to sit there and be more open, dropping the judgment of yourself and of the speaker? Because you're sitting and saying, okay, what does she know? Oh, she's supposed to realize that, mind goes on the 100-mile speed and tries to sit there and see what I'm saying. Humbly speaking, do I care? Don't. But at the same time, so that's why I said humility. Sometime, somewhere, you have to simply come Sharanagati to see, will I receive something? And if that Sharanagati happens naturally, then you're in the right place, right resonance, right everything. You have all the tools, perfect. If it doesn't happen also, it's okay. There's no judgment from this one towards you saying, oh, look at her walking out of the door, She didn't get what I said. It's okay. Everything is beautifully orchestrated. So it's okay if one wants to sit here, one came last year and didn't show up this year. There's nothing I can do. But if you keep showing up, definitely there is, a connection. which I see happening like a flood of Mother Ganga. You're taken and you're emancipated and you're just completely sustained from by that divinity within me, not as a personality at all, anytime. There's no personality. That way, if you're a guy, if you're a woman, if you're a child, it doesn't matter to me. It's only a soul, a beautiful soul, seeking that light within, wanting to know, who am I? Where is my light? Not even seeing the light, some people see the white light and everything. But to me, the supreme stillness was my light. Every time I just went to that complete stillness, there was nothing, no flashing lights, no nothing. It was just this complete stillness where I saw the complete palpable presence of Arunachala. Once you feel that, what do you need? Then only you recognize the whole world is illusory. It's all beautiful, you appreciate it, you appreciate everything, the flowers, the lotus, everything you appreciate. But if you have to go, you can just simply let go. You're not holding on, oh, I'm going to die tomorrow, just this one lotus, let me hold on. You can't take a pin when you go. You're striving. One little question. We are striving all our life to simply sustain this body. Am I right? But you don't want to strive for emancipation. It's too long, it's too many hours of meditation. What I'm only asking is, continue your works, continue whatever your profession you're doing, because that is also preordained. We're talking about the psychiatrists and psychologists. They're doing exceptional work. Yesterday we were talking about it. They're doing exceptional work for a lot of people who are not there yet, and they're guiding them. But if you're a psychologist and psychiatrist or any therapist, and you come to the seeing of your own immensity, you'll be super. No? Helping the other person, simply throwing a rope because they're just drowning. You throw a rope, say, come on, I know a better way, a more peaceful way, a simple way. So dropping all your toys is a renunciation, inner renunciation. You do your job, you do everything. Like I said, you're given a role to play the role beautifully, but don't become the role. Any problems with that? Becoming the role? You're all becoming the role, no? Suppose you drop that role. I mean, you're playing the role beautifully, but you're not becoming the role. Why becoming the role? Because you get attached to being a grandma, to being an engineer, top whatever, forest person, CEO of the company, top surgeon. Actually, the top surgeons are so brilliant, they come in total Sharanagati and they do their surgery. Everything is orchestrated by the divine. They first pray before they go to the surgery. After the surgery, they do a perfect job. They walk out not feeling that, oh, I saved this guy's life. So in our mundane, simple life, can we drop every time? Because I know, many people who want to talk about what they have done so much over and 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 you'll have a conversation, it'll be, hi, how are you? The rest of it will be all about that person. Calling overseas, I'm calling overseas. I don't care. 50 minutes, blah, 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 blah. When you drop your little self, you ask that person, how are you doing? How can I help you? You will have a million things going on, challenges and everything, but then first you ask that other person. That's kindness, no? That's compassion. Because what happens when you open up to that, you become so supple, you become so soft, you become so, I don't know, it's just, you know what I mean? You just become so flowing. And when you follow all of this, what is said, life becomes effortless. Now what you're doing is putting so much effort, no? Effort into everything. Suppose say you want to do something and it ain't happening, what do? Can you drop it then? If it ain't happening, even if it's the best thing you want to do, it ain't happening. What do? Can you drop? You can't, or you can? She's rolling her eyes. That's what I'm saying, rolling the eyes. So when you're rolling the eyes, what are you thinking? Go in there and say, who is that who does not want to drop? That means there is an I. That means there's a self-identification of so-and-so, name, form, everything. Because this is the fear. Because the fear of dropping that completely saying Sharanagati. Do you know that I'm very proud of you, you know whom I'm talking about. This morning I got a text from my beloved San Diego son who said, Ma, I'm going to quit my job because he's been watching all the Zooms. Got fired up. You know, he's a very young person, younger than my son, and he said, I'm going to quit the job and I'm just going to, I like to lead a monastic life. I'm not saying all of us can do it. Inner renunciation. Congratulations. I love you. How many people can do that now? He's smart because he's not made any commitment, he's not married, he's young. You know, just 30 years. He just had his birthday before I came here. Look at the courage. He had a beautiful job, he was making a lot of money, whatever. But the job was very demanding. So he figured, well, this is so demanding, and Ma is saying you can keep the job, you can do everything. But he just said to heck with it. He has no idea what he's going to do. I'm not saying all of you should quit the job. I'm just bringing it to your attention that this is the highest endeavor in one's life. This is also preordained. I'm not forcing anybody. Let me make it clear. It's only preordained. You want to take it, take it. You don't want to take it, please, that's fine. There's no judgment. See what I'm saying? Take it or leave it, it's still okay. But inner renunciation. Because when you go there and you're doing your vyavaharas, you're doing your interactions with the world, like my Swamiji used to say, hold on to the lotus feet of the divine in one hand. The other hand, you're doing your vyavaharas, meaning transactions. Doing your transactions, no problem. Yes.
You were talking about doership.
Good. So he's talking about the doership. He said when I put the focus on the doership, because of always he was doing, there was a lot strong emotion of the doership, and he said something just stopped within him. So that's with all of this. It's so simple, no? But it's all the Vedantic truths. The essence of Vedanta is this only. At the end of Big Viveka Chudamani and this Bhagavad Gita and everything will tell you at the end, please renounce, okay? Come to full realization of yourself and all that. So the doership dropping is so important. Just drop the doership. So this example is they had a big concert, the big drama, you know, and they were all getting ready. The players were getting ready for the concert, and they all were ready. They were going to go on stage. They said, "Where's the king? Where's the guy who plays the king?" And they said, "Oh my God, he didn't come. He didn't come. He didn't show up. So what are we going to do? The play cannot go on without the role of the king. Go get somebody." So somebody ran out, and there was a homeless person, and he looked very regal. So they just, "Can you just do the role? We'll pay you this much." He says, "Oh, no problem." He was very calm. He said, "Okay." So they put on, gave him a shave and made him all regal. In 20 seconds, he was like a king. So he came and he played the role of the king. And he wore all these beautiful robes and simply had to sit there and say a few words. He says, "Oh, no problem." He said the few words. And then the concert was, the play was over and everybody standing up, giving standing ovation and everything. And, after this play was over and all the other actors had worked so hard. But this guy just walked in, right? No problem. So then, he just got up and took off his robes and wore his dirty clothes and was just going out. And everybody came and said, "Oh, where's the person who played the role of the king? He was magnificent, magnificent." And they all said, he's not talking anything about us. We worked so hard for months and years for playing this role. They're only asking about the king. So they said, they were just, the king, oh, well, we have to look for him, And he was already gone. He didn't bother. He just took out the ropes. It was all there in the dressing room and he was gone. Can you be that? That's all I'm saying. Can you be that? Tomorrow this role is gone. Do you think I should worry? Simply it gets dropped. Say it gets dropped. I'll still be the unshakable reality, sitting within my little cottage, totally happy. Why? Because I don't need anything from the world. Nothing. But at the same time, if it's given with love, they say, Ma, I just want to make this offering. How can I not receive? The self is very shrewd. It knows when the offering is made with love or it's just been given because, they want to get their names on something. One time, Karunamai, many of you must have heard about Karunamai. So we both look very much alike. So I used to go and see her and they all used to say, is she your sister? And Amma used to say, Sharada Ma, come here. She was the one who gave me that name, Sharada Ma, and later on somebody else gave me Sharada Ma. So anyway, I used to be with her. I used to be very fond of her. She used to be very fond of me and all that. What was I going to say? I don't know. What was I going to say? I know, Karan. I don't know what it is. No, it had a very deep connection. It dropped it completely, yeah. Anyway, she was amazing. Anyway, so we used to go and do a lot of stuff, So I used to go and then help and everything. So one day, I used to make all this prasad for her, a big, like 5-quart of prasad. And there were 300 people and I had only an 8-quart of prasad. And she said, Sharada Ma, you brought the prasad? I said, yes. And she says, oh, I said, there's so many people, I didn't realize it's so 300 people. Oh, don't worry about it. And so she told somebody to give the prasad. And once 1 teaspoon was given and 1 teaspoon, everybody got 1 teaspoon. It was like, have you heard of Akshaya Patra? It is coming, Akshaya Patra. It was like, everybody got it. 1 teaspoon. So those kind of miracles happen, But the love was just so exquisite. She was just flowing with that love, So can you do that? You don't have to be an avatar. Aren't you all avatars? The ordinary becoming the extraordinary is what walking temples and walking gods. You become that. Walking temples. What is God? Isn't God love? Unconditional love. There's no conditioned love. He doesn't say, even the pimp on the road, he loves. Even the person who's murdered also, he loves. Because there's no hope for that person. If God doesn't love him, he'll create all of his things and then he'll come back. One lifetime, he'll say, boom, he'll be a saint. There's a story of a lady who used to go walk from the village. She used to go long ways to work, and then she had just very small trinklets, little, earring and little thing. And one day it was a little bit dark, and she had to walk, cross a little bit of a foresty area, and then there were 5 or 6 thieves who were following her, and she was walking faster, and the thieves were following her and want to get a little trinklet, whatever she had, and finish her off, because they don't care. They're just heartless. So there was another guy. So she was walking faster and faster, and she ran into a guy, and he was the biggest thief ever. Biggest thief ever. Some names and all I don't remember. And he's like controlling everything in that area. But when she ran into him, she held his hand and said, Bhaiya bachao. Bhaiya bachao means it's Hindi. So brother, save me. She held on tight to his hand. Said, brother, save me. Total Sharanagati. Because she didn't have any choice. She ran into this person, and behind there are 5 guys. Bhaiya bachao. Because with that intensity of that love and surrender, she said, Bhaiya, brother, please save me. And he just looked at her. He was the most vicious, horrible person. He would just take, and he had this thing, sword. He would just simply chop people's head off. He doesn't care for like a gold chain or something. He just looked at him, just completely tears coming. And he turned and looked at them and just touched his thing, and they all just ran for their lives. So because he was so obviously a very horrible person. And then he looked at her and he said, Amma, where do you have to go? I said, oh, my village is just here. I'll take you. And he took her. And then she said, how can I not give you? I just have only porridge. I'm very poor. I have only porridge. Will you please drink? He said, yes. They drank that porridge. And there was such a beautiful bond between them. And totally from that moment onwards, he felt the love from her soul and said, this is beyond what am I doing with my life? This is so beautiful to have a sister. I've never felt the love of family, sister, brother, anybody. So beautiful to have the love of a sister. It's completely transformed. So you can also be that transformer. Not that you have to have that expectation, but can you not transform? Because when she said that she never expected that he would be transformed, she never expected who he was. This is what I'm talking about, the self. Consciousness interacting with consciousness, meaning that you're not, I don't know who you all are. There could be a murderer sitting here. Do I care? I look at him in the same way that I look at anybody else. So that soul may be transformed in some way, shape or form. And that's also ordination, preordination, orchestration. Everything has to be dropped. Any questions before we start? Any questions, please open up, because if you don't open up and ask me questions, you're missing the point, missing the chance. And don't feel so shy. We're all a family. It's a big deal. Yes?
The flow of consciousness that you mentioned in meditation.
So what Will is telling, that you're talking of flow of consciousness and he tries to feel the flow of consciousness. He doesn't feel it and the whole meditation gets a form of frustration. What did I say before that? Sharanagati. So even in meditation, whatever is said is to make you understand, so that when that experience happens, you can feel it. But before that, first you have to blatantly, completely do total surrender. That means not having any expectations. Didn't I say prerequisites is dropping all expectations? Which means even this. I allow you one desire, that I want enlightenment. That one thing I allow. But not having expectations when, what, how. No, we don't know. I didn't know for so many years when it's going to come. All of a sudden, when it happened, it was like, wow, is this what it is? I was sitting in my backyard and was watching these hummingbirds. It was sunset and I was watching the hummingbirds so beautifully coming and drinking the nectar. And the sun was setting and something happened. I just was looking at that scene. It was just exquisite. And I just lost myself, one with the scene and the sunset, whatever. I didn't feel my body or anything. But all that I heard a little voice say, I am always with you. I am you and you are me. It exploded within me. It exploded. Who is this saying, I am you and you are me? Just an ordinary housewife sitting in the backyard. Suddenly in that moment, I felt extraordinary. Only in that moment. After that, you become ordinary again. It's okay. But in that moment, God shows you, picks you up, and just sustains you and tells you, I am only you. All these years you didn't recognize I'm only you and you are me. So in that total Sharanagati only, you will come to that witnessing. So till then, don't have any expectations. Even if you get frustrated, witness that frustration also. How many times I've got frustrated, I just said, okay, I want enlightenment like yesterday. I used to say, Shambhu, okay, what's your problem? I used to fight with God, like how much more you want to purify me, I have nothing more to give you, I've given up everything. That's okay to keep having this prattling with God, telling him like, oh, you're not giving me anything. It's okay because you're doing it with such innocence and no expectations. Ask and thou shalt receive. Jesus says, I made you in my image. So already it's taken care of. It's already you're made in that image. You got everything as a human being, no? You have the sixth sense as a human being. You have everything. Only thing simply you have to pay a little attention. A little going inward. Little dropping of the fear. Dropping of the fear is not so easy. Anybody still fearing something? Any agitation, any anxiety, fear? See, when you get anxious also, you simply witness the anxiety. I witnessed that anxiety. There's one person who was very, very anxious when she came and, okay, just saying, Ma, I just received this, and first couple of sessions she would say like, so anxious. This whole thing came up. I said, well, just simply witness and put yourself in the line of fire with the transmissions. And now no anxiety at all. Within a few months, no? Nothing, everything dropped. Because you're allowing that. You have to allow the allowing. Very important. To allow the allowing. So if something up is coming up to be released, you allow it. Like when we finish the infinite grace transmissions, and some of you start coughing, all of that is a release. Some of you came and told me, I feel very agitation in my heart. So feel it. Have the courage to feel it. At least you're getting some support from the universe for you to release. Those will be very difficult, no? It's a very slow process. Because it's like you go back, you go forward a few steps, then you step back like 10 steps. That's the spirit, like most of you in the spiritual path. That includes me as well. I just go, okay, this has been just a fantastic meditation for 1 week, and then boom. How are you going to allow the prarabdhas to come up and be released? Same thing with my knee, right? Probably cleared it in 1 second. It just doesn't want to get cleared. So I say, Sharanagati. Any questions? Yes.
The other day you said one grace transmission would do the job of 20 years. I wondered, 20 years of spiritual practice or just 20 years of
20 years of prarabdha. See, that I knew that somebody will catch on to that because, self speaks, and I was asking Shambhu, what do you mean by 20 years? I myself was questioning God. I don't know. But it's the prarabdha. Because, the prarabdha is past life karmas, and it's very, very difficult, slow process. So basically what Arunachala's gift to the world is that, at least little by little, I don't even want to say anything. I simply it happens through this as the flow of this beingness. Because people will start, saying all kinds of commentary, They're not capable of anything, but they like to comment, Here is a person who's simply unconditionally giving. Even if a body is going to drop tomorrow, she doesn't care. But there are people who will comment, commentary. Not that it just bothers me at all, but I'm just saying. So any kind of transmission that is given to you is given from Arunachala, from the divine, from the infinite consciousness, flowing towards you. And whoever is sitting here, whatever you need, you will get, you will receive. I'm not doing anything, absolutely. But allow the allowing to flow. Okay?
And that happens even when you're sleeping.
Yes. She's reminding me that happens even when you're Zooming. So please, everybody, when you leave here at the end of the month and you go to your own countries, please Zoom. Because you're getting the same effort as you're sitting with me. Please Zoom. You don't have to be there personally, but Zooming itself, you get smacked. People in San Diego and around the world are not able to get up. It's because this is Arunachala as well, but it gets pretty fiery, in San Diego as well. So I can only offer, I can only have it. It's like Zooms are all free, subscription, subscribe. They say, oh, subscribe. How much is that going to cost me? It doesn't cost you anything. It doesn't cost you anything. So just that's what I'm saying. If you are focused in your spiritual path, you'll do any freaking thing to get there. Like I did, As an Indian housewife, I've done something radical things, okay? People saying, what is she thinking, I said, yeah, you can think whatever you want about me. This one is gone, So, for what that is like humility and courage and not bothered about the whole Jagat. Jagat will keep on, all the judgments on you. Oh, you didn't do this correctly. You shouldn't have done that. You've forgotten your children. No, I'm multitasking. I'm just, changing hats. Because the doership has dropped, changing hats, no problem. It's an effortlessness, right? Everything in the universe has got an energy form, energy pattern. And you're also filled with energy. So don't dissipate the energy. If you become effortless in doing it, you're dropping everything, then everything simply happens. Simply it happens and it's just flowing. I go meet my children, then all the grandchildren are climbing all over me, grandma, amama, amama. I kiss them, I give them my love, and then I'll take off. Time for satsang, bye-bye, I'm flying out to San Diego today. And they accept. So same thing with your clients, same thing with, if you're working and you're trying to renounce within, and suddenly you get up one day and you have fully packed clients or patients or whatever, fully packed. But you get up one day and you say, I just want to sit, cancel everything. You have the guts to cancel. Oh, like $1,150 I will lose. You know what I mean? Are you prepared to lose that also? Mind will come and calculate. In the end of the month, you may not have, a big meal. You may have a piece of toast. But you have given that all for God, to recognize the God within you. What is more important? What is more important? The puny little business and your practice, or the infinite, or the limitless? Very simple. Don't waste time, that's all I'm saying. I can only tell you, right? Don't waste time. Not a minute to be wasted. Your mind will pull you, then you pull yourself back. And say, oh, no, I'm going to do my meditation today. And you sit for meditation, so blah, 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 And you say, okay, that's fine. Blah, blah, go. Blah, blah, away. I'm still going to sit here. That's when the mind gets tired. No, it's just, oh gosh, I'm so tired of this. Yes. Yes. But when you're interacting, so she says that there's God, if their clients are waiting, there's God within you, there's God within the clients. So what's the problem, right? That's all fine. But when you're interacting with the clients, that's God interacting with God, that's all perfectly fine. At a certain levels of consciousness, at a higher vibration, you're simply interacting and you don't feel like saying, I'm going to cancel everything. But I'm saying in the abhyasa part of it, in the beginning, when you're trying to go towards the infinite silence, if the feeling within your heart comes, I just want to sit. That's all I'm saying. When the feeling arises within you that I want to sit, you please sit. If the feeling doesn't arise, right, and you're saying that I'm the God and I'm also serving consciousness, totally fine, no problem. You're moving effortlessly. But I want to ask you, in that realm, in that suddenly if I ask you, are you attached to anything? Does anything bother you at any moment of time? If you say no, thumbs up. If you say no, then you need the meditation. Then you need to drop even those other so-called gods and go deeper within yourself. Does that make sense? Sharon?
Yeah, I know this makes sense to everyone. Everyone else is
Yes.
just wouldn't walk out on
Right. So that saying that I have made a commitment and I have a responsibility. Who is that I? Who is that I? There is an I's positionality there, which is the self identification of your little self, saying that I have a responsibility. When you're an airtight Sharanagati, that responsibility that came as a thing, it is responsibility also you have to give up. That responsibility also you have to drop. That I am this responsible person, I have to do this, also has to be dropped. Then you are in total Sharanagati, then you are simply flowing with consciousness. I know it's hard for the ego to swallow. It's a tough, bitter pill to swallow, but that's the truth. That's the truth. But do the abhyasa and see one day, Sharon, you have these clients and all that. One day you say, I don't feel like doing it. Maybe you will not come to that point where you said you have to keep going. But suppose challenge yourself one day and say, I'm just going to sit at home and meditate. Because nobody is indispensable, guys. Nobody is indispensable. Even the greatest surgeons. Suppose surgeon, met with an accident and he had a major surgery the next day. He had a major surgery. He had to save this guy's life, but he just couldn't. He had met with an accident and he himself is in the hospital. He's not indispensable. They got another surgeon to come and do the surgery. So anytime when something within you says you are responsible, watch out. The red light goes off. If suppose somebody comes and says, Ma, you're responsible. Yes, that's true. I mean, I had this injury in my left knee and everything. And, I didn't say like, oh, I'm responsible for all the people who booked the tickets and they're all there. Yes, it was a responsibility, but total Sharanagati. I said, Arunachala, if you want me to go there, you'll take me. If, but I don't really, one way or the other, it doesn't matter. But I said, I am prepared to go through the pain and be there for a month. You do the steps or you do the lift, it doesn't matter to me. That is total Sharanagati. Not really saying I'm responsible. Yes, it's a little bit out, saying so many people are coming. But after all that emancipation happens, after you're completely chutney, you know what chutney? Prophet Khalil Gibran, the prophet, the corn just being hashed and just kneading and all that happens at this realm in my life. There is no ego to tell me, oh, you're going or what? It's my responsibility. There's nothing. Responsibility of the universe, yes. Exactly. If you listen to the mind, so basically he's saying he's a person who's got 2 children, he's sitting here in the satsang, but his ex-wife is already taking care of the 2 children. He says, I'm responsible for the kids, but really not, because he says the mind is so tricky, tell you you're responsible for the kids, and yet the kids are being taken care of by his ex-wife, and they're perfectly fine without the daddy being there. When he goes back, he'll go and love them and hug them and do whatever. So that is what I'm talking about. It's a fine line between responsibility and letting go. So what I'm saying is there is nothing more important than your enlightenment, your endeavor. The highest endeavor in this universe is nothing more important. Even the other day, they were asking about the daughter who's grown up and she's got 2 kids. And Max is a grandma and she's been accused of not being a good mother and all that. So, little secret, you and you alone are the most important in this path. Because you have served the universe, you have served your family, you have served everything. At this point in your time, you are only wanting to serve God within you. At that point, everything has to be dropped. All responsibilities also has to be dropped. Just like I told you a minute ago, Indian housewife, no? Pretty radical things I've done. Did I say I've stopped my responsibilities? I've dropped my responsibilities. I need to have my responsibilities. Simply said Sharanagati, everything was taken care of by this one only. As soon as that was taken care of, I just kept going, moving forward. Now it's like totally relentless. Because the courage envelops you. Because God is always supporting you, Even if I don't eat anything, I've shared this with San Diego, my loving children in San Diego. Even if I don't want to eat, because most of the time you don't feel like eating. Morning I get calls from my mom who's so She gets agonizing thing. I don't want anything in the morning. She says, I made this. You want several calls when I'm in silence. And when I'm by myself, the loving mother calling to see what I want in the morning, God will. 2 a.m. in the morning, I would not have. I've just been in silence and, did a private session or something, just go to bed, being in that silence. Literally like this. There's nobody home. I always open my eyes. What, Shambho? I want to open my eyes sometimes. I say, Shambho, what do you want? Go eat something. Oh, no. He'll even tell me what to eat. How about some hummus and crackers, things like that. I say, oh gosh, not to get my body out. But then there is somebody watching you, supporting you, sustaining you. That love you can never find in the world, even with your best partner, your best husband who's been with you. That unconditional love you cannot get from anybody. You appreciate your spouse, your partner, everything, but that unconditional, there's something sweet and fragrant that I receive all the time. So I don't worry about myself. I don't worry about myself. Because I know this, Shambho, you worry, you take care, So how can I say I'm indispensable? Okay, you got it? So shall we do the transmission? Anything? Any other questions? Yes. Thank you. Beautiful, Moksha. So he's saying, I cannot give more than what I'm sitting here and doing for them. Because while you're sitting here being with the infinite, everybody around you, your family members, everybody are impacted by that silence and by that yearning that you want to, Okay, forget about even renunciation, forget about even realization. Simply sitting in this state of grace, in this exquisite space, and saying, I just want to be. I've never asked you to be this or that when we go into meditation. I'm just asking you to just be. Just be. I don't care what you're being. So in that beingness, the entire universe is affected. Thank you for bringing that up. It's beautiful. Because one time I was in one city doing for 6 months my sadhana, because I said, kids are all married. I mean, they're all finished, even college and married and gone, whatever. So I just said, I'm taking off. My husband said, what? 6 months? Mm-hmm. Said, how about 3 months? 2 months? He made all kinds of deals. I said, no, 6 months. I said, 6 months. He says, wow, 6 months. I have to stay here. I said, yeah. Just took off. And everything simply just happened. So when I took off, that's exactly what he's talking about. All of my responsibility has simply dropped. Then the world will say, oh, she's such a bad person. Imagine she's left the husband in the lurch and gone. Let the world say anything. So you can never go a step forward if you don't take that opportunity. When the opportunity is knocking, you don't take it. You're missing the chance, no? So that's why I say be very alert and vigilant to those opportunities that may simply pop up in your busy schedule suddenly. If you're aware, you'll say, oh, wait a minute, I got to sit right now. Call of the divine. Call of the divine. How many times I've had this invitation, call of the divine. Arunachala, come upstairs. And I'll be talking to my mother. This was years back, and I've shared this with the San Diego group. Years back, my parents, always I used to finish the satsang and sit and talk with them around 2:30. Not even satsang. I was not doing satsangs at that time. So anyway, I was very deep into meditation. I would come to Tiruvannamalai for 3-4 months just for meditations. So we'd be talking to them, and suddenly, I would just get up because God would, literally it was call of the divine. Come upstairs. It was like, come upstairs. And I'd say, okay, oh, you're going? That's it. You won't come back, right? My mom will say, my mom and dad. I will say, I'll be back, but I don't know when. Bye. I'll see you later, but don't wait up for me. You can go and have your naps. Okay? So I'd come up. And then I put my hair up, and it was kind of warm. These days it's very pleasant around this time, but before it used to be a little bit warm. And it was the old terrace, my parents' terrace, not this one. It's like really nice. The old terrace and everything fully concrete, and I would go put a plastic chair and I would sit there, just look at Arunachala. Nothing spectacular, just look at Arunachala and say, are you called? I'd sit there and feel so peaceful, and then it would be hot. The sun would be blazing, on my back. Put my hair up and sitting. And then I said, Shambho, it's a little hot, It's a little warm, I'm not complaining, but just a little warm. And I just closed my eyes and I was just being, and I heard this noise, tok, tok, tok. I said, what is that tok, tok, And then I looked, there's big drops of rain. Okay, big drops of rain. And I said, wow, Shambho, you're so amazing. Then I look, it's only around my chair. Okay. What do you say for that? Am I making this up? Is that some magic? So you want lights and, euphoric experiences, or you want this? Simply. And then it said, tuck, 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 tuck. And then the whole concrete was, wet. And it had to cool down. So it was coming down and, this. And I just said, wow. And a few years before that, I was sitting and I did my tapasya for 1 month, every day on the terrace, several hours, morning, afternoon, night. And, and it was time for me to leave. And I looked at him and I said, oh, you were Mauna Guru today, this month. You were Mauna, means being mute, I said, well, nothing, you didn't give me nothing. I sat and meditated. Nothing, I was complaining. I was sitting in the corner and complaining. I said, okay, I'm leaving tonight, you didn't give me anything. Literally like a child, okay? That's why I'm saying if you come with the humility as a child, simply pour. And, this thing was not built and everything. So we had a lot of orchard and a lot of trees. The entire coconut tree started swaying in the breeze. It just, went like this and slight swaying. And then it was ferocious. It was just literally the whole climatic condition was transformed. And rain started pouring like anything. That time my mom was quite strong. So she comes with an umbrella up to the terrace and says, Sharu, I said, go away, So that is the palpable presence of divinity in this beautiful place. When I experienced that, I said, Shambho, I'll never ever ask you. I'll never ever complain. Even if you're mute, even if 6 months also you're quiet, I know that you're watching over me. So those are the little experience when you experience somebody is watching over you. God is watching over you. If you have that connection, you're finished, no? You have that connection. Thank you for listening to the transmission. You sit comfortably. I request that don't open your water bottles. It's just an hour or 45 minutes of meditation. You will be guided to come out. I'll tell you when exactly to come out. When to open your eyes. Don't open your eyes when I say slowly come out. It's very jarring for the system. Sit up straight. Relax your shoulders. Take in a deep breath, inhaling light, peace, love. And exhale. Exhaling and dropping everything that you don't need to keep. That which does not serve you, drop it completely. Inhale deeply, inhaling light, peace, love. And exhale. Dropping even further, going to the core of your being. Sitting in the right side of your heart, which is the Hridaya Kamala, lotus of your heart. Sitting in a white lotus. You're sitting in a waveless ocean of bliss in the white lotus. And for this 45 minutes, forgetting the whole world, dropping the whole world. The thoughts will come and go. Don't pay attention to the thoughts. Just stay in the heart. and simply being. One last inhalation, inhaling light, peace, love, and exhale. Slowly come out. Don't open your eyes yet. Take in a gentle breath, inhaling light, peace, love. And exhale, dropping everything that came up to be released. Gentle inhalation, inhaling light, peace, love. And exhale, dropping even further, but continuing to stay in that stillness and silence. One last inhalation, inhaling light, peace, love. And exhale, releasing everything that came up to be released. Dropping completely. Stay in the state of peace, love and joy and silence even though we are coming out. Slowly open your eyes when you're ready. Thank you. So much. Thank you for being here in this sacred space and receiving the grace. This vibration that exists right now, this minute, it's very rare in the universe. So make use of it. How can we be separated from that infinite? There's no separation. Thank you for coming. Thank you to all the Zoomers around the world. Do you have any idea how beautiful you are? That's all it is, to recognize that beauty within. where you want to go running all over the place. For what? Here and now, simple, radical truth of the infinite. Simply dancing in front of you. What more do you want? You can't even move because you're held by the field of consciousness, whether you like it or not. So this is what will happen in your meditations. When you're doing the meditations every day, one day you'll be just taken in this space, in this experience. Do you need anything? Do you need anything? The exquisite benevolence of Arunachala flowing for everybody, including this one. That is why this doing happens now. The satsangs happen. So take this silence with you, take this peace with you, take this unconditional love with you wherever you go. You will be sustained. How can you not be sustained? The Lord has picked you up, put you on His lap. You don't need to worry about your responsibilities. You don't need to worry about anything. Just go with the flow, the effortless flow of the universe, dropping the self-identification of who you are. That's all. People can call you by your name, it's okay. But within, you're the formless Parabrahman, going beyond the form. Parat Param Parameshwara. Beyond the Parameshwara also we are going. That exquisite Parabrahman is only you. It's only you. You're not any less. Thank you.